So I'm with Joel Piaskowski, who is Director of Ford of Europe Design. Director of Design, Ford of Europe. I love it when my friends get big promotions. So I have been driving the Focus ST all day in the Alps.
The Alps, where are those?
Yeah, he's from Michigan originally, right? Yeah, he's from Michigan. So we are here, we had a great time driving all day, but I came back because I wanted to see the next Ford Performance Focus. Yes. And I would say this RS is no ST.
It's definitely not an ST, Gene.
No, not an ST at all. You know, from a design standpoint, what your job is in this Focus line to create, you know, a base Focus, an ST, and an RS. How does it all come together?
Yeah, so we kind of work it up the food chain, if you will, as far as the levels of aggressiveness or assertiveness in the design language. And with the RS, this is really the top or the pinnacle of how we design it as a very performance-oriented vehicle. So really form follows function on the RS.
So when you look at the front, explain a little bit about what you have to do to accommodate all the performance that's getting stuffed under this hood.
Right, so first of all, the powertrain is much more powerful than the ST, so it really needs to breathe. The motor needs to breathe. And when you look at the front end here, there's some really large apertures.
Big apertures.
Indeed. And that allows all the air into the cooling packs behind the grille.
So the RS, this is a brand new model here in Europe, but it's based on the basic Focus.
Correct.
So not a lot of the sheet metal has been changed from that car, am I right?
Actually, the sheet metal is 100% intact. There hasn't been any sheet metal modifications.
Got it. So really the front has been changed because of the engine.
Yes.
What else has been changed? Show us what
Well,
else.
also just one more item on the front end. We've got these inlets on the sides of the front fascia.
Right.
And those let air into the brake ducts. So to really help cool the big Brembos on the front
So
end.
those are really the biggest concerns for a performance vehicle. It's the engine, getting the heat out, getting the air in, and then venting that brake.
That's most of it in the front end. We'll talk about the rear soon.
Okay, all right, and then these look a little different, don't they?
Yeah, so these 19-inch wheels are actually an optional forged alloy. So a much lighter weight product than the base wheel that you can get on the RS, and a very lightweight wheel.
Does the openness of that wheel help with the cooling at all?
Sure, it helps to exhaust the heat and just help dissipate the heat.
Okay, other than just admire the basic Focus sheet metal, let's look at what you did in the back.
Starting at the top of the car, this really pronounced rear spoiler contributes to the balance of the car to create a 0-0 effect as far as lift on the front end or rear end.
So that's function, but actually visually it does something very cool to this car.
Yeah, it helps just to kind of stabilize the car visually in the rear view. And then you got this lower rear diffuser at the base of the car.
More of that squaring off of the whole thing.
Also a functional element.
Cool. Dual exhaust, real dual exhaust or dual tips?
No, functional
the
dual
real
exhaust.
thing,
Absolutely.
right. So from a designer standpoint, what did it take to really amp it up?
Well, it's tailoring the level of aggressiveness, if you will, on the front and the rear of the car to really create that more powerful look. And quite honestly, it's really followed by the function of the car. It gives us that more aggressive front fascia with a big, large air intakes.
What about the people you think you're pushing the design toward? Who's going to pick this? Who's going to pick? Is this too aggressive for some Focus buyers?
No, if you look at the whole history of RS, this is really on spot to the RS nameplate.
Yeah, but that history is only in Europe. There's never been an RS in the United States.
Just like there's never been a Mustang in Europe.
Right.
So people know RS. The performance-minded customers know what RS is.
Well, I would say that Ford is on the right track. Only looking at statistics, Ford says that with tracking sales of performance cars, those sales have gone up 70% in the past 5 years. So you're kind of hitting the sweet spot here.
We think so.
Got anything else up your sleeve? Anything else up the sleeve? Nothing but my watch.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for the next one.
Okay, then you always say that.